Hi, hello there. Welcome to the first episode of I Really Can't With. This is super exciting. We are your hosts, C and Faye. I'm Faye.
I'm C.
Perfect. And a little bit about us. We're two homies, buds, if you will, best buds, who love pop culture and celebrity gossip. And you might be asking, do we have a degree in journalism or media training or PR? And I think we would say yes. Professional schooling would say no. But, here we are sharing our take on the PR stories that celebrities and their PR people, publicists put out, good and bad. And we're here to give you like a different spin on it. So, anything else you'd like to add, C?
No, that was very professional and very perfect.
Like, I think that's like pretty apt, like succinct for like, this is what this podcast is going to be.
Yeah.
So buckle up, get ready for a fun ride. We'll get to our top stories. I think the way that we're going to do things now is we're going to choose 3 top stories each to briefly discuss. Eventually, at some point, when we get listeners, they can write in topics that they'd like to hear us go back and forth about. But for now, we're going to choose the topics. C, do you have a topic that you'd like to discuss?
You know what? I'm going to let you go first on this because I have some research and things to add to the discussion later. So why don't you just kick us off here?
Okay, great. Well, I mean, I feel like you and I both have talked about this before. Let's get into Armie.
Okay.
Good old Armie Hammer. What's going on there? I think you have a good rundown.
What's not going on there? I've been down an absolute rabbit hole because he's a mess.
Should we start with what? Like, just in case, for the uninitiated.
If you've been living under a rock and you haven't heard what's happening with this man, like, can you just break down the whole situation of what's happening with him and what happened with him and several women?
I think
some in hotel rooms, some not.
God only knows where they were, all over the country, and other countries. But from my understanding, Armie has
certain tastes
when it comes to his
food.
Ladies,
yes,
of the night. Okay, no, they're not. They're
not. I don't think they're prostitutes. No,
they're hookups, and this man apparently has a preference for cannibalism.
Apparently.
So that's kind of where we're at right now, and he's already pulled out of a movie.
He's pulled out of 2 movies now.
Oh, I did.
It was another Paramount original, which I don't think he'd be losing too much.
Sorry, Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah. Who now is in the movie with Josh Duhamel. I need you to get that right. The one that was married to Fergie.
Yes.
Okay,
and
so
Josh Duhamel, I have an absolute crush on.
Transformers guy.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Please never confuse him with the other one again.
I don't even remember what the other one was in.
Well, Josh Hartnett is not attractive.
Okay.
But I will watch a Josh Duhamel movie anytime. Okay. Let's just get that right.
Okay, so I will do my research on the Joshes.
Please.
Because I have no idea. But yeah, he replaced Armie in the movie. I do believe the movie will still be bad, so I don't think it really matters.
So what's the latest?
So aside from him being a mess and someone needing to take his phone and stop him from speaking to the public.
Hello, Armie Hammer's publicist, stop this man.
Literally stop him from speaking to the public. He shouldn't have said much of anything but an apology and just like left. Which is sad because this man has 2 small children. But I fell down an Armie Hammer rabbit hole because he is the son and the grandson and the great grandson of an oil tycoon. This man's family has lots of money.
Suddenly everything's making sense.
Yeah. So, and I'm still in the middle of this rabbit hole, and I'm determined to make a family tree, which I will at some point put on our website. But from what I have right now, from my couple hours of research, Armie's aunt, whose name is Casey, wrote a book about their family, and it's a tell-all. So all of this, so all of this didn't start with Armie. Like the craziness, the outlandish things did not start with him, because he's the grandson of Armand
I
Hammer.
thought you were going to say armoire.
Of an armoire. No, of Armand Hammer, who bought Arm & Hammer because it sounded like his name.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my God, stop.
No, I swear. So there's that. And then his son, Julian, who is Armie's grandfather, was allegedly crazy, like beat his wife crazy. Allegedly beat his wife crazy, and not like small fights, like blowouts. And he was also allegedly a meth addict. Unproven. Allegedly. He was a meth addict. So Casey Hammer, who is the aunt, said some very exposing things in the book that she wrote, and I will be very soon purchasing this book.
Adding it to your reading list?
I will absolutely be adding this book to my reading list, because what a crazy family. It's honestly, this is really a story of like sex and money and drugs, and it's like such a classic story, I think, with families
everything America loves.
Yes, a true American. I think they're from England. I think they're foreign.
Listen, I don't want to do Armie Hammer's PR people / publicist job for them.
Absolutely not. You're not getting paid for that.
It sure seems to me like they might have some great stuff to go off of to like blame it on like the family tree.
I mean, I feel like they could have really dug into that, and the apology could have been better. It could have been like, you know what? I'm fighting demons.
Yes, I'm absolutely fighting demons.
I'm fighting demons. Look at my family.
My family is pretty messed up.
Like, come on. Like, I'm fighting my life.
My aunt wrote a whole ass book about it.
Please, like, if you want to see, just like check out her book. Like, I feel like there could have been so much. Like, a story could have been leaked. Like, oh my gosh, it could have been so perfect. It could have been like Armie's family. Like, look at all these things. Like,
this
if it were
is
me,
why he grew up the way he did.
Exactly. Like, if it were us, we would have absolutely leaked a story that was like, look at Armie Hammer's lost book, blah, blah, blah. Look at all these things. The reason he is the way he is. But no, they decided to let that man speak for himself. And you just sat up there and said stupid things.
Did they decide, or did he just like take his phone and try to play the angle of, I have 2 kids who I don't even know if the kids are old enough to read, but
I'm weak. I don't think they're above 10.
He's like, I need to be with my kids right now because they might be reading this shit on the internet.
Yeah.
And like, meanwhile, the kid's like 1 or 2.
Right. I think his kids are like along the lines. I think they're under 10, so they might be able to read, but no more than like a good picture book. I don't think they're reading art. They're not getting on their iPads. Like, let me Google search my dad today, see what that man's up to. Haven't seen him for a minute, you know? Like, I don't think that's what's happening.
Very sad all around.
Yeah. And then his private Instagram, which was more damning than anything. Like, what do you mean they don't test for certain things on drug tests? Like, you're losing your custody case, sir.
So many mistakes
were made by this man. So yeah.
It's a mess.
The whole thing's a mess, and it's a tangled mess. But, you know, we will get to the bottom of it one day. I'm sure in a couple weeks he'll come back and say something else that he didn't need to say.
I mean, listen, if that happens, he needs to find a new team immediately.
Oh my gosh,
Immediately. And if you want to send us a check for giving you that little, like, oh, use your family as an angle, you go right ahead, Armie Hammer, and I will, you know, you can reach out to us, I really can't with at gmail.com.
Please
and
reach
we'll
out.
Take that check.
And we'll absolutely make a whole strategy for you.
Come up with a plan.
We'll get you back in that movie with J-Lo.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Very sad.
Very sad situation. Mostly, I believe, for his children. Slightly for his ex-wife.
His
but
ex-wife,
not really. Yeah.
who is also like, I had no idea about any of this.
All right, girl.
I really hope not.
I you know, for her sake, I hope not. But like, I feel the same way about that I feel about like Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth. Like, there's no way you were with this person and didn't know who they were.
You know what?
That's
I like
insane.
to think that that Hemsworth family seems very solid.
Very
and I like
solid.
to think that the whole family was like, hey, Liam, stop it. And he was like, no, I'm going to do what I want. And he did. And,
he sure did.
You know, I'm sure when he filed for divorce, not a single person was like, hey, you remember that time that we told you so? Like, I'm sure they didn't do that.
They look like good people. They look like
very kind people.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm sure his brother Thor was like, you know, we're here for you, bud. Even though they should have said, hey, Liam, do you remember that time when we tried to tell you?
She was crazy. She was
little bit of a mess.
Yeah.
Little bit of too much twerking on Robin Thicke.
Oh my gosh. What a travesty that day was.
What a time. So that's a wrap on Armie Hammer. And like, we're gonna continue to see, you know, any new updates as they develop. Which selfishly, I hope that he gets his phone back and tweets out a few things, but you know.
Yeah. I just want to be in his mind. Like, what the fuck is he thinking?
I don't know if you want to be in his mind.
You know?
So my second hot topic, is Kellyanne Conway and Claudia Conway. Another mess of a situation.
Big mess. I feel really bad for that little girl.
So
regardless of anything.
For people that may not know what's going on, basically, you know, you might know Kellyanne Conway was the White House communications director.
She was one of them people aiding and abetting that president in his non-duty to this country. She did step away from that.
She was a senior counselor for the president. Yeah, she was his campaign manager and then a senior counselor.
I didn't know what she did. I stopped.
And strategist.
Paying attention after I saw pictures of her with her bare feet on the couches in the Oval Office. What sort of disrespect?
I didn't see that, and I'm glad that
You don't need to. Please, you don't need to.
So Kellyanne Conway resigned and said she needed to spend more time at home. And, you know, C and I had this conversation where just, a week ago? 2 weeks ago?
It literally had to have been a week ago.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, she's a great mom to her daughter. You know, her daughter is very, I think, left-winged. I think that's the term.
They have different points of view.
Very different points of view. Like, I'm sure her daughter is not a fan of the last president. And then all of a sudden, Claudia has been posting on her TikTok basically videos of her pretty much being verbally assaulted by her mom.
Yeah.
And the last one, I don't want to say live streamed. No, she FaceTimed her friend who live streamed the whole thing, the call, on Instagram Live or something. And it was basically the cops being called. Like, Kellyanne called the cops
Well,
on her daughter.
The cops got called. So there's, and we'll link this on the website. Essentially, Claudia is backtracking right now. She's backstepping. She's like, please, guys, stop calling the cops. Like, I'm good, because there was allegedly Kellyanne tweeted a topless photo of her.
Oh, that's what it was.
On Twitter, and the cops got called.
And she's 16.
She is 16.
It's technically,
you know, so
that could be just considered distributing child porn.
It could be. And having it be your own mother, I know
your
that
own
girl's
daughter
going through it.
Yeah.
Like, I know that girl's going through it.
Yeah.
But it all feels very Stockholm Syndrome, very like hostage situation in her TikToks.
The whole thing seems like a mess. I want to know, where is George Conway?
Oh my gosh, like, not being helpful.
Sir, this is your daughter. Like, at least get her away from her mom.
But apparently he left.
I mean, he didn't leave, and he's not dead. This man, I'm sure, has a phone, and I'm sure goes on the internet. I'm
sure. Listen, Claudia was trying to sell his jewel pods on the internet a few days ago.
I did read somewhere that she was trying to sell his shirts.
The man is not at home, so someone needs to take this girl in, maybe a cousin, a good aunt or something.
I really hope someone steps up, because I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And I think the free Claudia hashtag is trending.
I'm so weak.
It's really not anything like, I do want to state child abuse is absolutely not something that we condone.
Absolutely not.
But I do think it's important to talk about, current events.
Yeah.
And hopefully get the word out. And, maybe we should all be tweeting free Claudia.
I mean, honestly, at this point, yeah. Someone needs to come get that girl and save her. Like, regardless, obviously, her mother and her have love for each other, but they shouldn't be next to each other.
Oh, we should mention that people are basically assuming that Claudia is tweeting that she's fine because they're saying that her mom is making her tweet that stuff.
Yeah, because in a TikTok...
And making her say that she got hacked, and that's how that nude photo was...
Right, but it's like I don't think for a second Kellyanne would let Claudia near her phone. Also, several months ago, or a couple months ago, Claudia posted a TikTok that was like, if I ever leave social media, like, I'm being forced to, I'm not going to do it by choice. And obviously now she's saying, I'm not going to talk about this publicly. I'm like taking steps back. And it's like, obviously people are taking that and like
do
putting
a social
it here.
Media cleanse.
Yeah.
So, I mean, allegedly, we're not saying that's what happened.
But it looks allegedly, it looks like maybe the situation's not going well.
I feel like if we say allegedly enough times, no one will come after us.
Yeah.
Like, we're not saying this is happening, but we're not saying it's not happening.
We can't verify
we're
any
just
of that.
Saying
it looks from the outside.
Shit looks sus.
It looks real sus.
Very
from
sus.
the outside. So
do your research.
Yeah. Take that how Claudia. You will.
I'll feel better when I know that Claudia is like at a relative's house.
Yeah. Yeah, like, where are her, like, friends' parents? Like, can any one of them step up? Like,
she has a ton of rich friends. You guys have an extra room in your house. Step up.
Please, one of Claudia's rich friends, take her in.
Absolutely.
She needs to get away from that. But I also feel like she doesn't. I feel like if she really, really, really wanted to, she could get up and leave. But I really think that she wants her parents' love and affection. And she's just sticking around to see if they'll, like, give it to her. Because the girl's 16. Like, nothing's balanced when you're, like, a 16-year-old girl.
She's got 2 years to go.
I know. That tell-all book is going to be crazy.
You think she's going to write a tell-all?
She said she was going to.
No.
She said she has receipts. She has evidence. And when she's 18, she's coming out the gates smoking with this book. So, I mean, New York Times bestseller here.
You think?
Yeah. I really do think. I think that she's going to do it. Honestly.
Oh my gosh. Very sad.
It is very sad.
We'll be sure to keep everyone very updated on the news as it comes out.
Yeah.
So, last story. I think the last big news item that I saw in the news was Miss Cecily Tyson.
Oh my gosh.
Very sad.
Honestly, I can't. This is too much.
An icon.
Literally, it's how terrible to open your computer and everyone be like, rest in peace, Cecily. And you're like, Cecily who? It better not be Tyson. And it is.
And it is indeed Cecily Tyson.
And it is indeed Cecily Tyson. And it's coming off the heels of our like 1 year Kobe anniversary. And
oh my God.
Right. And it's like, we just had this. And then Cecily Tyson, like a break. We've had no breaks.
So
it's a new year and there's no new good things happening.
I just have to say,
oh my gosh.
I also love Cecily Tyson, and I know that she's an absolute icon.
A treasure.
And she is that. And, I remember seeing her in The Help, and I loved her character. Great. Aside, and of course, one of our favorite shows, How to Get Away with Murder.
Absolutely.
Absolutely iconic. Like no one else can tell Annalise Keating how it's going to be, just only Cecily Tyson.
Right.
What other movies would you
I've
say?
been like holding
I know
my breath
you're very affected by
because
Cecily
I
Tyson's
was like,
passing.
because here it is. Okay. Cecily Tyson is like Hennessy. All right. And I know you're confused about that. Okay.
I am.
Here's the thing. I hate Hennessy. You know I hate Hennessy. Okay. A lot of Black people hate Hennessy.
Okay.
But you know what we do it for? We do it for the culture. Okay. And can I name every Cecily Tyson movie? Absolutely not.
Okay.
Okay. I cannot name every movie that our dear Cecily has been in. But I do know that she, like Hennessy, is a part of Black culture. And we will miss her greatly.
Wow. That was very beautiful.
That was my tribute to Cecily. Rest in power.
Oh, that was so beautiful. Bless up.
Let's take a moment.
And I think on that note, that's probably a good place to end our first episode.
You know what? I do believe that out of respect for Cecily, we will be ending our first episode here.
That was great. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And please be sure to like our Instagram and tweets.
Other social medias.
We have a website.
We do have a website.
Follow us.
We have TikToks.
We'll keep you updated.
They'll be funny, I think.
We're gonna try really hard.
We're gonna try to get one out every week here.
Like, follow, subscribe. I don't know what you're gonna subscribe to yet, but it's something.
Period.
All right. We'll see you guys next week.